Building a Star Wars cabin cantina in my garden. What's new since I last posted about it? So when you entered before, I thought the space above the seating booth looked a little bit plain, so I've added some new props up there as well as some greeblies on some of the walls just to add that effect. I've also put up and displayed this signed Sabbat card from M. Fundy as well as some dice from the Millennium Falcon. Then on the back wall here, the other props that I have now displayed are this Mortis dagger, which is something I've made myself, a fake stone loft cat kind of display here. I had a few comments about not having lightsabers on the walls as most people would expect, but the idea of this cantina is to kind of be a little bit like in-world, like Galaxy's Edge in a way, and I don't want to have lightsabers on display as they're not so easily available in a way, and the things on display are to look like historical artifacts on display in a way. So I made this proto saber, or inspired by a proto saber, and I also made this kind of the first ever lightsaber, which was actually from concept art of The Force Awakens. On the other side there's a fake wooden loft cat on display, and then a Lothal Jedi Temple keystone from Star Wars Rebels. Below some of the props there's an Imperial Sentencing data card, which I'm going to replace in time, but currently they're used as a kind of label for a classic art piece, historical artifact in a way. Behind the bar and the bartender droid, the only kind of change is yet another greebly added to the wall just to add extra effects and plain space. And I currently don't have anywhere to store my speeder, so that's just kind of in here in the corner with a few loft cats on there, including a sleepy one. On the other side I now have a Star Wars Rebels inspired Ghost Crew mural, but in 3D. I am going to remove this at some point and replace it with something else because that's not very in-world, and yet another greebly with Chopper next to DJ Rex. I previously mentioned that I wanted to add kind of Jedi statues outside, however they're going to be quite hard to make and I can't justify the cost of making them. However, I have had a new idea of making the kind of podiums that you see in Arcana Temple in the Ahsoka series, which I can then cast in blocks, and then they're also something that I'll be able to sell as they're in blocks and something lightweight like polyurethane foam, but with a rod through the middle for weight of being externally used. I'm now much happier with the inside, especially this type of wall no longer looking just like too plain with the white space and having some props up on there, and I think having the greeblies on the wall and things, that just looks like enough there. I don't want it to be too much in your face and just covered with stuff. I do think something should go either side of the Great Hyperspace War, and I want to put a seating booth in this corner because there just isn't enough seating for when we've had parties and friends over and stuff, and I think that just also will protect the wall and mural maybe. And whilst this wall does have a Death Star painted white wall panel on, I feel it's a little bit plain, and I think I want to add maybe a couple more things, but that's the main tour for now. I also want to give a shout out to Night Trams, who made these custom tea towels for the cantina with the name of the cantina being Pathway to Petropia on, which I think is just awesome, so shout out to him and thanks for those again. And if you're interested in any of the props that you've seen on display, from the Mortis dagger, the Lothal Jedi Temple keystone, the Rebels Ghost Crew mural, the large Great Hyperspace War bas relief, also known as Palpatine's mural, the smaller fake stone display loft cats, a Mortis Gods display art stone, Ahsoka series inspired live action realistic loft cats, drop me a message because I'm a full-time prop maker and I've made multiple of all of these items. I've only made one of the proto saber and the first ever saber kind of concept just for display in the cantina, but if you're interested in either of those, I can also make more of those as well. So drop me a message for anything like that, or anything that you think my skill set might be able to make if you're interested in such a prop. Thanks for watching, and drop a follow for more cantina updates and generic prop stuff, and cosplay sometimes.